I made a song called Woundlicking, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Hey guys, this is part 2 of my 4-part mini-series about the songs on my EP, Send Me Your Daughter, from last year. As I mentioned in last week's episode, I wrote, produced, performed, and released the music myself under the moniker Galleriet, and in last week's episode, I also spoke briefly about the setup I used to create the music, so if you're curious about that, check out that episode. Now, the song I'd like to talk about today is the last song on the EP, and it's the first song I've ever released that's entirely instrumental. It's called Woundlicking. For this song, the seed was the harp. I was watching a movie at home one evening, and I wish I'd written down what movie it was, but I think it was a documentary, and at some point in the film, there was this brief, fleeting moment of music layered in the background, and it featured a harp. And there was something about that harp sound that just jumped out at me, and it got my wheels turning. I decided to sit down at the computer and play around with harp sounds in Logic to see what I could come up with. And after futzing around for a little while, I came up with this simple loop of a few plucked harp notes. I'm a big fan of repetition in music, and I've come to realize that most of my favorite songs are quite repetitive. They tend to lock into a groove and then stick with it, barreling forward almost like a mantra. Like Born Under Punch's The Heat Goes On by Talking Heads, especially the live version from 1981 with Tina Weymouth's just unrelenting bass line chugging through the whole song. Or All My Friends by LCD Sound System from 2007 with that ceaseless piano. I feel like you can just get lost in those songs. Using my harp loop as a constant skeleton, I began fleshing out the song by adding in percussion and juxtaposing that elegant harp sound with some more jagged electronic sounds. Quickly came to feel that this song was an instrumental because it didn't call for my vocals, but maybe it called for something else. While writing this EP, I was really influenced by the avant-garde Fluxus art movement from the 1960s and 70s. One of the founding members of the Fluxus art movement was Allan Kaprow. He was born in New Jersey in 1927 and had an inspiring career as a painter, assemblagist, teacher, and pioneer of performance art. He would refer to those early performances as happenings. Allan passed away in California in 2006, but his legacy certainly lives on. While working on Woundlicking, I came upon a recording of Allan's lecture, How to Make a Happening, from 1966. In it, he details a step-by-step method for how to create a happening. And he does it with sincerity and humor, and I was smitten with the recording and with Allan's voice. And I got the idea of using a small snippet from it in Woundlicking. After doing quite a bit of research and sending quite a few emails, I finally got the information for who I needed to contact in order to get permission to use Allan's voice in my song. Now, in some cases, the dream ends here because you reach out and you get a no, but not this time. My project and idea was received with so much kindness and generosity, and I was granted permission by the Allan Kaprow estate and Hauser and Wirth to use Allan's voice in my song, and that meant so much to me. You can listen for him in the breakdown about a minute and a half into the song and see if you can hear what he's saying.
Make it unsure to yourself. The happening is life or art. Life or art. Make it unsure to yourself.
Make it unsure, even to yourself, if the happening is life or art. I really liked the spirit of those words, and I felt like they could apply to life as a whole. To hear Woundlicking in its entirety and to read more about the song, check out the links in the description below. And that's Something I Made. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit a thumbs up and leave a comment below. And why not hit subscribe? I'll see you next week. Bye.